Now, what we have is another very, very interesting piece of career talks that is coming up for you. So in some of our publicity pieces that you may have seen, some of our flyers, you may have seen this word called psychometric analysis, which is on your screen. I know it sounds like a scary, weird word. I don't know how many of you may understand what the word means. But because some of us may not know what it means, we have an expert among us to explain it to us and to tell us how we can take this analysis test that he has for us. So that is none other than a certified career counselor, Mr. George Chen. It's a pleasure to introduce George. He's a close personal friend, and George is he hails from Shillong in Meghalaya. He completed his post-graduation in counseling psychology. In addition, he has also finished certifications in career counseling and a certificate in life skills. He is passionate about talking and guiding and counseling young people and leading them to achieve the best possible in life. On the side, he also enjoys fun stuff like adventure activities like cycling, swimming, and trekking. So, George, it is so good to have you. It is such a privilege to have you here. And over to you.
Thank you, Richie, for that sweet introduction of yours. I've enjoyed listening to the panel discussions right from the beginning of the session, with all the big minds in the business, big minds in the administration, people talking, motivating, giving inspirational quotes. It's really wonderful. Thank you, Richie, for this opportunity, and for ICPF for giving this opportunity to be able to be part of this youth summit to talk about careers and how we can plan our livelihood and how we can achieve our dreams and our goals. Basically, I really enjoyed the sessions with all the keynote addresses, with Mr. Sir James Varghese, who had shared from God's Word and inspired us from the life of Daniel, and also everyone who's talked about different things. I can mention them, but since we don't have time. So basically, the whole point of career guidance and counseling is basically to lead us to achieve the best of life. And without further ado, I'd like to share my screen so that we can go ahead with understanding the psychometric test that we have that is awaiting for you, for all the participants here, for all the people who are eager to know about themselves, discover themselves, know what their gifts and ability are. If you've joined this program to understand more about yourself, then this is the moment you can, keep your ears, your eyes open and take a pen and even write down anything which you find important. So let me just share my screen here. I hope you can see the screen. So career counseling, it's about finding your strengths, okay? Finding your abilities, your potential. So in here with the psychometric test, it's all about understanding yourself. But before we get to understanding yourself, your abilities in evaluating yourself, it's called a self-evaluation. So before you understand yourself, there are certain things that we need to understand. Some basic concepts about why we talk so much about career, why we talk so much about, career rather than a job, rather than work. These basic things that we need to differentiate is that work basically is something voluntary that we do without getting paid. Like, when your mom or your dad asks you to do some chores at home, cleaning your room, you do it. You might enjoy it, you might not, but you don't get paid for it. You do it voluntarily because it's your responsibility, or you've been told to do it. A job is something that we do. We don't really enjoy it so much, we don't really like it so much, but we do it for the sake of the money. Okay, we do it. Maybe I'm a teacher, I don't like teaching, I don't like kids, or I don't like working with papers or stuff like that, but I don't have anything else to support my living, so I'm just doing it for the sake of the money. So that's a job. You don't really use your skills, you don't use your abilities, and you just do it for the sake of the money. You don't really enjoy it, so that's a job. However, a career It's something that we aspire to be. We use our interest, we use our ability, and as a bonus, we get paid. That's a career. I may be a teacher. Okay, the same example. I enjoy teaching. I like working with kids. I like learning. I like to impact lives. I like to show and to guide people and to let them discover knowledge. And that work as a teacher, as a bonus, enjoying doing that as a bonus, I get paid. So that is why we focus on career. That's why we say career talks, not job talks, or not something that you will, depreciate your ability. No, we are focusing on you to your maximum potential to go and achieve your dreams, achieve your goals. Okay, so in this career talk, we want you to discover yourself. Okay, to discover yourself, and this career discovery part that everyone is talking about. Okay, everyone is giving you these advice, giving you suggestion. It's called a discovery path. You need to understand yourself. That's the first step. Without understanding yourself, you'll be lost in this world of work. Okay, you'll be lost in this in this world of information and opportunities. You'll be lost. But understanding yourself, it's very important. After understanding yourself, your abilities, your gifts, your talent, you need to understand the world around you. You need to understand what are the options available for you. What are the criteria that is required for you to reach your goal? And we talk of brother Sir Koshi has mentioned about so many people having so many depression or negative thoughts during this lockdown. Their dreams are not getting ahead. Why? Because they don't have career alternatives. So we should keep career alternatives as a backup plan for you to know that if plan A doesn't work, you go for plan B. So keep your options open. Okay, be flexible, like one of the panelists mentioned. Be flexible. And another is career preparation. You just can't dream of a career without doing anything. You have to put in hard work. So these are basic things that we need to understand before we go ahead. So in this psychometric test, we'll try to analyze yourself. You will analyze yourself on these 5 areas: the linguistic potential, the analytical logical potential, the spatial potential, the personal potential, and the physical mechanical potential. These 5 areas are contextualized, okay, according to our Indian standard, according to our Indian context. So it will help you understand that there are a range of activities that are there, okay, because when you talk of potential, it is, it talks about your intimacy and your interaction with the world around you. So you use your gifts, you use your abilities, like Mrs. Jacob mentioned about, trust in God's design. Trusting in God's designing, meaning God has given you gifts. Like Sir Koshi has said, trust the Creator. God has given you gifts. He has created you with multiple gifts. And we just need to tap into those gifts, understand ourselves. So these are the 5 areas that the assessment will be looking into: linguistic potential, analytical logical potential, spatial potential, personal potential, physical potential, physical mechanical potential. So what is this program about? This is called a Jiva education program. So here in this Jiva education program, it's a career education program where we try to help participants or students to understand themselves, understand their different abilities. And usually this is done in a one-to-one conversation or in a workshop, in a group. But because of this pandemic, I think ICPF has done a good job to bring this program together so that it's available to you. So I really urge you, don't waste it. Don't waste this opportunity. It's a God-given opportunity for you to discover yourself and to be able to do better in life. Okay, so this career Jiva education program will help you to evaluate yourself. No one is assessing you. There are many psychometric tests out there, but this is basically to assess on your interests and your abilities and bring in what you know, this combination of these two to bring in your potential. Okay, so basically this test is about you know, you looking at this inventory of many activities, and then you will evaluate yourself, and then it will give you an idea of where you are good at. Okay, before we start, there are a few things that you need to follow. Okay, so in order for you to be able to access this psychometric test, it's available online, you know, with the help of ICPF team. They've put in the link right there, the icpfdelhi.com/career talks. So once you click on that link, or you type in on that link, you'll be able to see this page, which you see on your right side of the screen right there. And then you can enter that, you can access this by entering your username, which is your registered email ID, your registered email ID. Once you enter that registered email ID, you type in the password ICPF 2020 #. That's the password right there. You enter it, you log in. And for those of you who have not shared, you know, you have not given your email ID, or you're using, you know, a shared email ID, brothers and sisters or siblings using the same common email ID, you can differentiate by using the username with your first name and last name, but all in small letters. Okay, please keep in mind, it should all be in small letters, your username. If you don't have an email ID, use your first name and your last name in small letters. I hope you remember these instructions. These are important for you, because if you fail at this first step, or you can't access, then you'd have a problem. So look at these instructions carefully, take a screenshot or write it down, keep note of it, so that you'll be able to access the psychometric test without any problem. Okay, so I hope you keep this in mind. icpfdelhi.com/career talks. That's where the test is available, and you can even see it in the chat box. Okay, so what is this test about? It will evaluate your interest profile. It will evaluate your interest profile. What is your interest? What is interest, for that matter? Why is interest important? Interest is basically the activities that you give much attention to. Okay, you give much attention to the things that makes you more curious. Okay, it can be reading, it can be writing, it can be solving puzzles, or it can be drawing, it can be, you know, things that you feel it's worthwhile your time. Okay, so these are the things that influences you, because, like, you know, those panelists have been speaking, you know, if I'm not mistaken, it's Dr. Sam who talked about objectives, you know, stages of your target, and satisfaction mechanism. All this is based on these, your how well, what are your interests, what gives you joy, what gives you satisfaction in doing something, some activities. So there are a range about 60 activities that are listed once you access the test. And all these you'd have to grade yourself. Okay, how do you grade yourself? For example, this guide people, help make decisions. So one of the questions in the test, it will be to ask you whether you enjoy to guide people, help make decisions or not. And depending on this, you know, you have these 5 options. You can choose bit interested, somewhat interested, interested, quite interested, or highly interested. These are the level of your enjoyment or satisfaction in this activity. So you can't really leave one out, because all of this, somehow we've done these activities, or we are involved in this activity in one way or the other. So it just ranges, it just differs in the range of activity. How would you like to get involved in this activity? So once you click on this, on one of these options, the option that you click becomes black. And once you click on this, then the next, if you can see the next option down below, so it gives you the signal that you can proceed to the next question. So there are many questions. Take your time. This test doesn't have a time duration or time limit. You read, understand it carefully, choose wisely according to your, according to your relevance. Make sure that you are honest with yourself, because this is about evaluating yourself. It's about evaluating your own abilities, your own interests. So make sure you do this with, with a sound mind, understanding yourself. Choose one of the options. There's no right and wrong answer. There's no big score or low score. Every choice you make is important for you, so you can understand yourself better. So this is what we do in our Jiva education program. These are activities that are administered by a certified counselor. So we would guide people to understand themselves better. So this is about your interests, okay? Because it helps participants to systematically understand their work-related interests. Keep that in mind. These are work-related interests. It helps you understand more about yourself. So the second part of this test would be the accomplishment profile. This accomplishment is different from interest. Interest is what you like to do, what you enjoy doing, okay? What you are curious about. On the second half of this test would be the accomplishment profile. And this is where your accomplishment or your aptitudes come in, okay? So aptitudes would mean something that you are good naturally. It comes naturally. Like I said earlier on, God has given us different gifts, different abilities. So it comes naturally. It's something you are capable of doing very well, and you do it very well without any difficulty. Even if there's a problem, even if there are difficulty in it, when other people face difficulty with it, but you excel in that area. So you have again here about 20 activities that you can rate yourself, you can evaluate yourself, so that you will understand where you are good at, okay? Because this is the difference, okay? For example, I may enjoy playing the guitar, okay? I like spending time playing the guitar. However, I may not be really good in playing the guitar. That's the difference. I like playing the guitar, but I may not, or I'm not. To be honest, I'm not good at playing the guitar. I enjoy playing the guitar. I have interest, but I'm not good at it. So that makes my potential in that area a little low, okay? Because natural ability, for example, like cricket, like sports, okay? We enjoy playing cricket, but we are not good at it, as in to reach the IPL. So that's the difference with accomplishment. Interest is something which you like to do, and accomplishment is something which you are good at. So you'll have these activities, these questions that are there in your screen. So it's based on different areas, like I mentioned: linguistic, spatial, analytical, logical potential, personal potential, and physical mechanical potential. So you have these areas in which you are asked these questions. Writing essays, okay? You have the first level is, I'm involved in this activity at the personal level. The second is, I have participated in this activity I have participated in this activity in school and competitions. So writing essays, most of us would write essays. So that becomes our personal level. We've written essays in school because of our exams, or even in competitions. So exam would be somewhat of a competition. So you can even choose that. This section is different from the earlier section, is that in the earlier section you can only choose one choice. But when it comes to the accomplishment profile, you can make as many as 5 choices. There's no problem with choosing 5 choices as well. Like here, for instance, there are 5 choices and 3 choices have been picked up. So Why? Because this is relevant for the person. Okay, he is involved in this activity at a personal level. He even participated in school. He's won prizes and competition. Winning prizes and competition doesn't necessarily mean, I get a trophy or I get a medal or I get a certificate. That can also be one. Another part of winning prizes, it's an acknowledgement from your teachers or from your tutors or from the principal that, okay, you're really good in writing essays. That is also an accomplishment. Okay, so it can be both ways, winning prizes or getting acknowledged for your work. That can also be an achievement. So based on that, you know yourself, you know your strength, you know your interests as well. So you can choose multiple, or you can even choose minimum of one from each section. That depends on you. Be honest with yourself, and that it will lead you to about 20 sets of questions for in this section. The next section is that this is where your parents are involved, because they know you better than any one of us. So their opinion about you is also very important. What your parents can get involved here is that they will rate you on the basis of your, looking at your ability. They'll assess, where exactly your ability is. For example, like in linguistic potential, this shows your ability with the use of language, writing, expressing words. So they'll read, they'll understand, okay, my son is somewhat very high in this area. So they will choose, and then they'll proceed to the next. And then it goes on to the spatial potential. And in the 5 areas where your parents gets involved in assessing your abilities, your potential. So this is where your parents gets involved. And after that, you'll reach at the end where you see your parental perception. When you've reached the PM, the physical mechanical potential, when you reach at the end of this evaluation, you'll see a new option, a new button, submit, which means you've reached the end of the evaluation or the psychometric test. And by this time, it indicates that you've reached the end, and you can submit all that you've answered, all that you've entered, and then it will reach you to this page. It'll give you the scores or the results. And this, we call it the Find Your Strength or the potential profile. So here, what I want you to do, listen very carefully. I want you to highlight 2 highest area, okay? The first highest, you circle it with a pen or pencil, or you can even, because here, and when you reach this section, you have to take a screenshot. This is for your own personal reference, because we'll be talking about this tomorrow again. So when you reach this far, you take a screenshot, take note of the highest area, whether it's in which score, whether it's 50, it doesn't matter, okay? Your highest can even be a 35. Your highest can even be a 40. It doesn't matter. How high, how low, it doesn't matter, because this is about your own evaluation about yourself. There is no pass mark, or there is no benchmark for this. Okay, every score is important because it indicates your ability. Okay, so what I want you to do is take a screenshot when you reach this. Make note of the highest, whether it's in L, if you can see the columns there, if it's in L or AL, S, P, or PM. So take note of that, and we will explain to you further tomorrow once you've done the test, and we'll highlight and talk to you more about how do you relate your potential to the careers choices that you have. Because when choosing a career, you have to keep in mind that it has to be a choice that you make. It has to be, something which is suitable to you. It has to be something which you can go ahead and prepare yourself for it. Okay, so it's very important you be honest about yourself and evaluate yourself, And we hope you reach the end, you finish the test till the end so that you can see your own scores and understand yourself better. You know, it's like discovering yourself. What is your gift? What is your ability? I hope you are curious about knowing yourself. I hope you are eager to know yourself so that you can get on the test, get in, fill in, evaluate yourself, get the scores, and we'll discuss with it again tomorrow when you come back for the session tomorrow. That's it for me. I hope you're able to understand whatever I've shared today. The time is limited. So now, if there's any queries, anything, I'd hand over the time to Richie again. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time. Hope to see you tomorrow again. Thank you.